Thanks for stopping by today. My name is Maria, aka OneCraftChick. Today I'll be showing you how to make a fabric basket. Let's start with what you'll need. What you'll need for your fabric basket is obviously fabric, pinking shears, a sewing machine and thread, scissors, sewing clips or pins, an ironing board, and an iron, both of which are optional, but I do recommend them. For this tutorial, I'm going to use this tea towel I found at the dollar spot at Target. It's 18 by 18, but what I'm going to show you today is a technique that you can use with any size fabric. I do recommend using a slightly heavier fabric. It just will help your basket stand up better in the end on its own. Start by folding your fabric in half, right sides or pretty sides together, being mindful of where the tag might be. I knew I wanted to bury mine in the seam. Grab your clips and start securing 2 of the 3 sides. If you're using a remnant piece of fabric and you just don't think you're going to have enough fabric to fold it in half, or you simply want your basket to be a bit taller, this one will be 5 to 6 inches tall in the end, I recommend just folding it 4 to 6 inches, and that will give you a taller basket, but it just won't be as stiff because you will only have 1 layer of fabric. Now we're just going to sew around the pin sides using about a 1/4 inch seam allowance. This is a great project for beginners because you're just sewing a straight line or a great line. Just be sure to secure your stitches at the beginning, going backwards and forwards, reversing and going forwards again. You can even do this at the very end. You don't have to pivot if you don't want to. Just go slowly, take out your clips as you go, and then you'll be done. Now that you're done stitching, turn your piece right side out, and I'm going to go ahead and pin my right sides together where that seam is, just because it's going to be so much easier when I try and make that a little bit crisper by pulling out my ironing board and iron. I said that ironing is optional, and it is, but if you give your fabric a nice run over with a warm iron, it will absolutely help when you go to sew this piece in half, which is what you're going to do now. Fold it in half again, and you're going to do the same thing as you did before. You're going to secure 2 of the 3 open sides. Now that you've secured those 2 sides, go ahead and hit your piece one more time with the iron. It'll just again make this next step easier. And here comes the fun, which is just futzing around with your piece. Now, when I say futzing around, it's just a fun word to say, futzing. Okay, so you're going to make box corners. Essentially, you want your piece to have that seam down the middle to be able to kind of lay flat in the corner, and the rest of it to kind of pull out to the sides. You can kind of tell that your two seams on the side are nice and almost flat with your seam at the top. And that is what you want. Now, deciding where you're going to end up doing your next sewing or your next seam is kind of easier for me because I have this striped fabric. I can tell that my stripes are going across nice and vertically, nice and even, and that makes me know that I can do a straight single stitch. So now I'm just going to go back to my sewing machine. I decided where I wanted to sew. I'm using the lines in my fabric a little bit as a guide. You want to make sure that you're really careful going across the seam in the middle because it is a really fat seam. So just go slow. You might have to, again, futz with your sewing machine a little to get it to go over, but you can do it. It just takes a little bit of time. Just go slow. And this is going to help make those, it's going to make those tight little corners. And here in the end, you can see it's like the bottom of your bag has weird little puppy dog ears. Now grab your pinking shears and you're going to kind of cut off those little puppy dog ears, leaving about 1/4 of an inch. So just making sure you don't accidentally hit your seam. Turn it right side out or flip it so that, you know, your ugly seams are at the bottom. And there you go. There is your basket. All that's left to do is to set it out. I've just left about 1 inch at the top to fold over. And now just put some things inside of it. I made these to help corral some of my half done, half not done projects or things that I know I need to figure out what to do with. Thanks again for stopping by. I hope you found this tutorial useful. If you have, please consider subscribing to my channel. I post crafting tutorials every Thursday in hopes that you can take Friday to corral all your supplies and make a quick project over the weekend. Have a great one.